my assumptions about this year's election map may be wrong. And what used to be the realm of satire
Could it be
is now just par for the course.
She's the devil. He made a deal with the devil.
Plus, our contributor and Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Charlie LeDuff is back on the road.
I transformed it into joy.
And Marissa Lynn launches our new political debate segment, In Court.
This is a political argument, you morons. Get to the point.
This is Money, Power, and Politics. Okay, well, the story of the week could have been Hillary Clinton earning 4 Pinocchios from the Washington Post.
Director Comey said that my answers were truthful and what I've said is consistent with what I have told the American people. That there were decisions discussed and made to classify retroactively certain of the emails.
But by veering off message and attacking a family of a fallen soldier, then attacking fire marshals for enforcing their fire codes, Donald Trump stole the show.
They said in this massive building you're not allowed to have any more than 1,000 people. And that's nonsense. We could have had 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people. They've all been turned away. You saw them. It's a disgrace.
When you run for office, campaign managers drive 2 things into your head: stay on message and don't take the bait. But Trump's lack of focus in interviews, his contradictory and muddling thoughts on Russia, and his week-long tit-for-tat with a Gold Star family is burning him. We'll show you how he can still fix this and what Trump can learn from President George W. Bush in the second half of our show. But first, we want to show you what all politicians can learn from real people. And that brings us to Charlie LeDuff.
Dude, that's a trip. What did I just see?
He's a regular on our show, of course, and traveled with us for our convention coverage and our Facebook Live sessions.
You're an animal.
All right. And now he's back on the road to take us beyond the politicians to show us how real people drive real change. Tonight, Charlie has a story about humanity and perseverance in the Americans.
You dream of an island. You may never get there, but without that dream, you'll never build a boat that will take your life to someplace new. And so it's here on Avalon Street in Highland Park, Michigan, where the boat of Shamayim Harris washed ashore. Sadly, her dream came to her in a nightmare 9 years ago after her youngest child, Jacoby, was killed.
And they crossed the street, and the car just came whipping across the street, around the corner, and snatched him out of my son's hand. He was 10 years old at the time. And then he died up under a streetlight.
Highland Park, long down on its heels, has since had its streetlights repossessed because the city could not pay the power company, or fight crime, or tear down blight, or keep libraries open. There was no place here, Miss Harris realized, to be a child.
I was thinking, I said, wow, I said the parks and stuff around here, overgrown and everything, and I said, maybe we'll just, I said I want to build a park for my son. And so when we moved over and I saw this house, like I said, 6 months after he died and stuff, saw this place.
She bought that house and then the lot next door and made that park. And then she erected a solar street lamp on a block that had no light. She didn't ask, she just did. She mowed and cleared the lots. She got abandoned houses torn down. Soon the children came to Avalon Street to camp overnight, and musicians came to play, and her dream began to grow.
You bought this?
I bought this. This is actually this was $1 a square foot, so it was like 2,300 square feet. And yeah, we bought this, so it's already gutted and everything, and we got the youth working on it.
Come September, this place, thanks to a $100,000 grant from the Big Sun Foundation, will be a clean, safe homework house for the school children of Highland Park. The city, whose officials once viewed Harris with a tired eye, has seen the light.
And this homework house is fabulous. It's magnificent. It's something that our children can take care of on their own. They can be proud of. They can be a part of.
It's like a model for the city. So being code enforcement is pleasing to me because we got a lot of blight. We got a bunch of property owners that don't want to do anything with their properties. Here it is, this woman, this beautiful woman with this vision. She stepped up and said, I'm gonna do the whole block.
This is 9 years of putting the energy and everything into it, putting the vibes into it, putting the work into it.
A registered nonprofit, Harris's Moon Ministries has a fundraising campaign on Kickstarter.com, hoping to raise money to furnish the homework house and build out the rest of the neighborhood, a place where the liquor store often doubles as a supermarket. A vegetarian restaurant here, the Goddess Marketplace here, the Wellness Center, Avalon Village.
This lot right here, this is gonna be tennis and volleyball courts.
Seems like an awful big dream.
Yeah.
Who the hell plays tennis around here?
Nobody, but guess what? We will teach them how, because we're gonna turn out some awesome sports stars out of here. So this is tennis, this is volleyball, and this big one right here is the basketball one with bleachers.
Big dreams. Even if they don't all come true, at least Shamayim Harris can say she did something constructive with the pain, making the lives of little ones just a little bit better.
It just helped me not to think about, just the sad part about him not being here anymore, and it just helped work off some grief, because sometimes you can sit and you can think about something, boy, and it could just get you so tore up. So that was a way for me. I just stayed busy, and I was intensely busy. So, you got to do something with the energy. So I just kind of transformed it. I transformed it into joy. Every time I think about that stuff, as a matter of fact, because he was so little.
You'll find much more of Charlie's travels on our YouTube channel. Search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics. Subscribe to our channel and follow along. You'll also find satire and humor segments and hard news investigations you may have missed. Coming up, we're launching a new humor segment with help from Charley Belcher and Merissa Lynn. We'll show you how this year's political debate would play out in a court TV show. We call it Judge Merissa.
Objection, leading the witness.
Objection! I have no witness!
Objection, lack of foundation.
Objection, badgering!
So I had this idea. What if we took the political arguments of 2016 and worked them into a court TV show, kind of like Judge Judy, but politics? We could have a lot of fun with it, try to make the judge or the litigants laugh, but in such a way that we explain something about politics or work in a serious debate that offers different perspectives along the way. I thought we could start with a debate over the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Of course, I need a quick-witted sparring partner and a sharp, hard-hitting, straight-talking judge to keep us in line. So I needed a couple of people here who could play the parts and mix it up and roll with the punches. And the more I thought about it, I came up with this.
You are entering the courtroom of Judge Merissa Lynn. Real issues, real political arguments, settled here in our forum. This is Judge Merissa.
I know you've been sworn in. I've read your complaints. So let me just get this straight. You guys had an argument.
Oh, yes, we did. Craig said that the Starship Enterprise could destroy an Imperial Star Destroyer. Ridiculous.
No, it's not. It's not. No. Luke used to bullseye Wop Rats with a C-16 back home.
That is insignificant.
This is a political argument, you morons. Get to the point.
Oh, yeah. Your Honor, we were given the challenge of trying to explain the difference between a Republican and a Democrat.
Yeah, and he got it totally wrong, Marissa. Your Honor.
I'll decide that. So you mean you arrived at different conclusions?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Patrick, what side does your show take?
No, our show takes no side. We're an equal opportunity harasser.
So you harass people? What is wrong with you?
No, that's a figure of speech. We investigate, we fact check, we call out, and we lampoon politicians on both sides to shine the light and try to keep them honest.
So you have a light?
No, that's a figure of speech too.
Enough with the cliches.
He has a lot of those, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Belcher, what is the best way to explain the difference between a Republican and a Democrat?
Elephants, donkeys. Democrats tend to be liberal, while Republicans tend to be conservative.
Those are just labels. What does it all mean?
Well, for example, Democrats want a higher minimum wage to help working class families. Republicans want to cut business taxes to create jobs to help middle class working families.
That's money and tax policy. What about social issues?
Okay. Republicans are opposed by majority to same-sex marriage and strongly support gun rights, whereas Democrats support stricter gun control measures.
And what about trade?
Democrats favor trade restrictions while Republicans favor free trade, but they're both saying they want to protect American jobs.
Objection, hearsay.
Objection, argumentative.
Objection, leading the witness.
Objection, I have no witness.
Objection, lack of foundation.
Objection, badgering.
Objection, glasses and beard combo.
Objection with that tie. Who are you kidding? It doesn't match his coat.
Mr. Patrick, it sounds like he nailed it to me. What is your counterclaim?
Your Honor, that his explanation is too simplistic. He said that Republicans favor free trade while the Trump movement has been founded on the premise that it's breaking away from Republican orthodoxy on trade. He said Democrats want a higher minimum wage, but you have Ben Carson, you have Mitt Romney, you have Santorum. The list goes on and on of Republicans who want a higher minimum wage too.
I don't even know what orthodoxy means, Your Honor.
What is your point?
Well, the core difference between a Republican and a Democrat basically comes down to the size and scope of government. Because, well, both sides agree that government has a role to play to facilitate capital markets, to sponsor education and trade, to fund transferable technology research, and to build and regulate an infrastructure. But Democrats believe that government should be far more involved to help working class people. On the flip side, you have Republicans who say that government tends to get in the way, like Reagan, who famously said the 9 most horrifying words, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." On the flip side, you have like Bill Clinton in 2012, who famously said, "We're in this together is better than you're on your own."
Mr. Belcher, do you have anything else to add?
I really just want to know what orthodoxy means at this point.
Mr. Patrick, you win.
I got it.
Hey,
I got it.
No, I object.
No, I got it. That's
I'm
it.
appealing this decision.
And now it's your turn to render a verdict. Do you agree with Judge Merissa's decision? We want all of you to serve as our jury. Like us on our Facebook page. That's Fox 13's Craig Patrick on Facebook. Look for the Judge Merissa segment and vote for Charlie or vote for me and weigh in on topics you'd like us to cover in future debates. And on the subject of debates, we found a very interesting and informative app that's tonight's Political Appetite. Yeah, check out the Intelligence Squared app. This is the work of a nonpartisan, nonprofit focused on restoring civility and analysis and substance to the work of politics. And you'll find some fascinating, informative, and very serious discussions that spell out both sides of the big issues. Once again, we have the link to that as well on our Facebook page, Fox 13's Craig Patrick. Coming up, we'll bring in Evan Axelbank to dig into the numbers and work through the lessons of the week. Okay, so let's bring in Evan Axelbank now for some lessons in politics. I've got my list here. Number 1, don't attack grieving families of fallen soldiers.
That would be pretty high on the list if you're running for president.
2, don't attack fire marshals for enforcing the fire code.
That would be another one if you're running for president.
And there we, oh wait, yeah. Oh, and Putin invaded Ukraine 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Other lessons.
Well, and certainly I think the culmination of those things starts to, a gaffe in politics is something that reinforces your opponent's negative storyline about you, right? So if you look at those 3 things, they reinforce the storyline that the Democrats have tried to build, that Donald Trump is not prepared or fit or knowledgeable enough to be president.
And with that, it moves the map, does it not? It moves not just the polls, but changes the map in ways you may not expect.
Well, sure it does. And one of the things that I noticed very late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, if you look at the 538 polling average, which is a pretty well-respected poll, he's guessed 99 out of 100 states correctly in the last 2 elections. If you look at it late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, this was the prediction that 538 put out. Nate Silver put out 50-50. That's where America was just Sunday morning at about 3 in the morning. That's what it said right there. You see Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Iowa, Nevada, all those states were very light red, meaning that Nate Silver predicted that they would be towards, at least, Donald Trump, that Donald Trump had a very good chance, or at least a better chance than Hillary Clinton, to win those states. Now, let's look at where this is. This is just 48 to 72 hours later. Look at how much this has swung. Florida, Ohio, Iowa, Nevada, all of those have tilted blue. That's telling me, and that's telling Nate Silver, that all of the things that we've seen over the last couple of days, the things that you've mentioned, those have all taken huge hits to Donald Trump's chances of winning this thing. I mean, look at that. It's more than 2/3. Just a few days ago, it was 50-50.
Fascinating. So the only good news here for Trump is that Nate Silver got it wrong in the primaries.
Right. That is true. But Nate Silver would also tell you that primaries are tougher to predict than general elections. And if you look here, the map that Trump needs to have, he needs to have a red Florida. He probably also needs to have a red Ohio and a red Virginia. Right now, that's not happening for him, and it's only gotten worse.
Evan, thank you so much for your perspective.
Coming up, our predictions for the week and a sneak peek into our new humor segment with Scott Smith.
Yes, I think the Republican nominee is unfit to serve as president. I said so last week, and he keeps on proving it.
Yep, that's President Obama ripping Republican leaders for ripping Donald Trump while saying they still support him.
And the question I think that they have to ask themselves is, if you are repeatedly having to say in very strong terms that what he has said is unacceptable, why are you still endorsing him?
So Trump blundered by repeatedly attacking a Gold Star family, and now his supporters like Governor Scott are trying to clean it up.
The Gold Star families have asked for an apology from Donald Trump. The question is, should Donald Trump apologize?
Well, you can talk to Donald Trump. I can just tell you that from my standpoint, I'm appreciative of everybody that served.
And tonight, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie expanded on that with the textbook response.
For Mr. and Mrs. Khan, the pain of losing their son while defending our country is unfathomable. And I think it gives them the right to say whatever they want, whether they're right or wrong. They have the right to say whatever it is they want. We need to honor their sacrifice for our country, and we need to honor their son's sacrifice for our country.
And with that, Chris Christie scored clearly the line of the night. Now, tomorrow night, we'll go through other controversies and blunders over the years, and we'll bring in Scott Smith to guess how they played out in our new segment. We will see you tomorrow night.